Nah, picture me rolling, tip of my chauffeur. Niggas look jealous, you gotta control it. Reaching my quota, mixing my soda. Feeling connected to God, trying to get closer. Stepping on roaches, me and my loasters. Just trying to get over, try not to get swallowed by locusts. Trying to stay focused, kinda like Moses. Like somebody chose us. It's weight on my shoulder. I feel these emotions.
Yeah.
Yo,
We're back.
RP Nipsey.
Another episode. RP Nib. You already know. Still hasn't been a year yet, but yeah, you know what I mean.
Wait,
Just,
so that song they just released it?
No,
So it's an old song and they just
Yes.
did like an over.
it's just an old
It's
song.
just a video.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Old song, old video. Yeah. He
Just a
probably
nice
still
classic.
has
Just a nice classic.
Yeah. Probably still has way more in
Definitely
the
classic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah. Well, welcome to another episode of the Slide Through podcast. I think it's episode 58, if I'm not mistaken.
Is it
Something like
58 or
that. It's
59?
it's in the high 50s.
It's in the high 50s.
Close to 60.
We're getting close to 60. It is finally October, the best month of all time, in my opinion. It is the first in the month.
Why?
Because in October, everyone just gets a vibe, bro. Like you never see anybody else post any other months besides like October, really.
For real?
I feel like October, November, and December are like the popular months.
I like October
Because the holidays.
Because that's when
I like
the harvest
February.
is. You gotta chop
You say
them
October,
down, you
but
gotta dry
funny,
them up.
Yeah.
I thought it was because it was your birthday month. That's why I
That
thought.
too.
No, that
Oh,
too, that too.
okay.
That's why you only see that. That's why.
Hey, say October again.
October,
October.
baby.
You
They
feel
have
me? All right, man.
Oktoberfest.
Oh yeah, they do. I'm trying to go to
I try
one.
to check it out every year, man. I always miss it.
October.
I'm trying to go to one. I just
It
heard it's
starts
just hella
early.
beer.
It starts early though. They ended like by 5.
Cause it's hella beer. People don't want, like, you know.
People
Like
do
they're
want
they're
that.
they're just like drinking like hella beer. So pretty sure they don't want people there drinking hella beer all night too.
Why not? They're gonna go downtown anyways.
Yeah, they rather have downtown deal with it.
Trying to hit the pumpkin patch.
All right, man. Well, today we have a very special guest
Yeah.
in
Yes,
the
sir.
building.
We do.
I'm gonna let him introduce himself, man.
Want to introduce yourself, sir?
Go ahead, man.
Ron Fucci.
Ron Fucci. Ain't
We
nothing
heard
goofy, you know?
How you doing today, sir?
I'm doing good, man.
Nice.
I'm glad to be here.
Hell yeah.
Damn, we're
It's-
glad
it's
to have
pleasure
you.
having you, man.
Oh, thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about yourself, man. What you've been doing these past years, you know, as far as helping people, helping the youth, you know, what type of game or knowledge can you share with us?
Well, first of all, you know, it's important to give back, you know, and
Yeah.
every opportunity I get, I use that to share my experiences and also to, you know, help somebody who needs help, you know, paying it forward. So, you know, I do a lot of speaking at high schools and spoken at the college here and some of the county jails and juvenile halls. And it's a passion, you know, and it's a privilege, especially when you get, you know, you don't expect it, but you get a lot of feedback from the kids. You know, I spoke at a high school in Merced and received over 100 letters of appreciation from the kids, and you know that's enough to get you
definitely.
teary-eyed because
Yeah.
you don't go there for that. You just go there to pay it forward, and when you get, you know, positive accolades like that, it makes it worthwhile to continue to grow, and also to share my experiences in the hopes that it helps somebody else along the line.
There you go.
Can you tell us a little more about yourself? Like just you personally, who you are?
Oh yeah, well, I was born in Fresno, but I left when I was 20, and then I've resided here in the Bay Area ever since. I'm 53 now. You know, I still feel like I'm 18.
Oh, gee.
Yeah.
Hey,
You
I
are.
still
Man.
look
You're
young.
in the gym
You're fitter
every
than most
day,
18-year-olds nowadays, man.
Yeah, you're looking young, man. I'm like, fuck. I gotta get on his program.
Trying to look like that at
Yeah.
50, man.
Oh man, I gotta chase these 4 grandchildren around, man. So that's what keeps me in shape. So
But you play it off
That's
cool,
what's up,
man.
I appreciate that. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, other than that, you know, I work for the city. I'm a public works director for the city, and married, and you know, and got 2. Like I said, I have grandchildren. So I have two sons. One's 34, one's 32. So I'm in constant contact with them, and they're down in the Fresno area. So great kids, man. It's nice to see them grow and do positive things and be a great dads. You know, I appreciate just watching them be good dads.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Yeah.
it's rare nowadays.
Yeah.
You know, but
Definitely.
they're both so attentive to their kids, man. It's a pleasure to watch them.
And what got you into going out and doing all these speeches and all that? You know.
Well, when I was 21, I just barely turned 21. Well, let me backtrack a little bit.
Yeah.
So growing up, great, family life, and both my parents in the household till I was like 10 or 11, and then my mother explained to me that my parents were going to get a divorce. And again, all of us can relate with that. So it was kind of hard when you're that age because you don't understand the facets that are associated with the divorce. You really don't understand the word.
Yeah.
So trying to process that and just figure out what was really going on was kind of challenging at that age. Then came the part where they ask who you want to live with, and it's a hard question because you feel like you're choosing between your parents who you love more, and so it really played havoc with my psyche, at a young age, because you don't have the tools in the toolbox to deal with those type of emotions and those things that go on. So I ended up living with my mom for a little while, and then moving in with my dad, who's my best friend. We worked together, stayed together, and same job, everything. He was my boss. So by the time I was 18, I had my girlfriend then. I had my first son, so I ended up getting married, and my dad was with a girl too, so we ended up having a double wedding. So that's how
tight.
That's just showing to show you how close we were,
Yeah.
And then probably a year later, man, I was with some friends, and I got a call from my wife, and my dad. She told me that my dad had committed suicide.
Oh,
So
sorry
man,
to hear that, man.
yeah, it was tough at that age, especially when you don't have any warning signs.
Yeah.
So again, this goes back to reaching out to these kids, because everybody can relate with that kind of stuff. Whether it's suicide or divorce or broken homes, single parent homes. That's why the message needs to get out there that there is light at the end of the tunnel.
Yeah.
So anyways, when that happened, I lost all consciousness because I didn't know what was going on, and it was just really hurtful. I mean, to this day, it still hurts, but it was very hurtful. Didn't know what to do, and ended up, getting caught up in using drugs and alcohol, and really slowly trying to kill my own self through drugs and alcohol. Even though I was still working and functioning, but like a working alcoholic.
It was slowed down.
It was slow downhill. I was just didn't have enough strength to actually do it myself. So I figured through drugs and alcohol I could kill myself. So during that phase of my life, I ended up getting connected with some drug dealers to get my supply and stuff. And I was staying with a friend. I gave him a job, and his mom was so happy she allowed me to stay with her because I was giving her son a job. And then one night he called me. He was out with this drug dealer gentleman and called me and said, hey, we're going to go collect some money from an individual that owes some money, and we want you to go. And I was like, nah, we're going to work tomorrow. I don't have time. I don't want to go. And then he reminded me that I owed him money as well. So he said, if you'll go, we're going to go to this house, and if he doesn't have the money, we're going to tie him up, and we're going to just take stuff out of the house that's equivalent to whatever he owed. So I agreed, and we get over there, and my one of the individuals asked him for the money. It was like $20, man. It was stupid.
Wow.
Yeah. So in the midst of that, he was tied up. My job was to watch him. So the individual the parent I was staying with, my friend that I was staying with, his mom and him, it was the house where the victim was, which his name is Tim, was right next door.
Oh,
It was his dad's house. It was somebody he had grown up with. So he was making noise, and hey, David, why are you doing this? And he would come out and say, Ronnie, keep him quiet. My dad's going to hear. And I go, he's not going to be quiet. Just get what you're going to get, and let's get out of the house. So at that time, he came out, kicked him in the head, and then put a like a Pendleton over his face and taped it up to keep him quiet. But when he did that, he didn't know that he folded over his nose.
Man.
So the individual ended up suffocating and dying. So we were arrested. I ended up plea bargaining for a 25 to life because it was just too painful, man. I didn't want to put his family through a court and all that. So I ended up being incarcerated with a sentence of 25 to life. Yeah. So.
And what year did you decide to kind of start making changes? So obviously you get hit with the time, you're doing your stuff. What year or when was the time where you're kind of like, damn, like I this is a wake up call. Like let me start thinking a little bit differently. I got years still ahead of me to be here. How could I make that time worth it? Like what could I do to make this time go faster?
Well, first of all, when you're there, you don't realize it because especially if you've never been, in jail or know the justice system, you don't understand what that sentence means. Mm-hmm. But I learned very quickly from older guys that had been there for a while. They just told me, you got a 25 to life, man. You're never getting out. So that was hard, and for all intents and purposes, that was true because everything you read in the paper from the governors said if you committed, or involved in any murder, the only way out of here is with a toe tag. So it's hard to keep yourself hopeful and strong and moving in the right direction. So, and then plus, I was still young and I was still playing, I was still mad at them for dragging me into that. And before I was still playing a victim role as myself. So it took me a few years to kind of come to grips and understand, what I had been involved in, and it wasn't about me. It was about Tim, who lost his life for $20. And and that's the nature of drugs. And not having the skills to deal with, social emotions and psychological emotions that stem from, your upbringing and tragedies that happened in your life. But it took me about 3 years before I was actually said, hey, I'm going to do something with this. And I wrote a letter to the governor then. It was Pete Wilson at that time. And I just told him, I go, look, I have 2 young kids. I know I'm probably never going to get out, but please don't let me waste away in here when I have the 2 young children. I want to give back. If there's a program within CDC, please allow me to be transferred to that place and make something positive out of something so tragic and negative. I never received a response back from him. But I started, doing a lot of reading and engaging in, NA and A, just because I wanted to see, I want to see what made me, when I was dealing with emotional trauma, what made me, gravitate towards doing drugs. And so I just really wanted to learn about me, man. So I started just enveloping myself in all these different programs and learning, and then I just started saying, I'm gonna make a change. If I'm never gonna get out, at least I'm gonna change me, and be able to, somewhere somehow, even if it's just via mail, be able to share, some experiences that may help somebody else down the road. Yeah. So that's what I did for many years, and then it gradually became not just participating in these programs, but it allowed me to get into a leadership role where I was starting to teach these classes. So that was very, very fruitful, and it was very positive. And, a lot of guys go to those programs because they have to. Yeah. I didn't really have to, but I went. And so there was a lot of joy from, even if it wasn't kids, because we were all kids at once. We're just grown-up kids, especially a lot of the guys that were in there were young and got caught up. Yeah. So it was still positive to be able to be in front of those guys, and they're a harsh crowd anyway. So, but that's what I did, and then eventually, after 20-something years, I got transferred to Corcoran, and there was this program I hadn't even heard about. It was called the Changing Within program. So what it was the beginning of a youth diversion program. I never signed up, never talked to anybody, didn't even know about it. And then all of a sudden at mail call, I got a ducat, which a ducat is, it's just like it's a little paper slip that tells you to report to wherever it's medical, wherever, and you have to go to it. There's priority ducats, and then there's just regular ducats that you can decide if you want to go or not. This was a priority ducat to show up for an interview, and I didn't know what it was for. And then I ended up going there, and there was like 200 guys there, and a captain and the associate warden was calling people in and interviewing them for this program. I never signed up, and all these guys that were there had signed up for it. I never signed up, and I just got a ducat to go. Wow. So out of all of them, they started weeding down sections, and I think it ended up being like 15 guys, and I was chosen to be a facilitator for that program, which allowed us to, you know, work with kids. They would bring kids in from high schools and different areas throughout, you know, the valley and stuff, and the word got out about our program, and then a producer, a director from Hollywood came and decided that he wanted to watch the program, and after watching us do our program, he decided he wanted to film it and make it part of the Beyond Scared Straight series. So what a blessing, you know. I never expected that, and then ended up, you know, I look back at, I wrote that letter to the governor, you know, 20-something years before that, never got a response. And then I end up the last years of being incarcerated getting this ducat that I never signed up for. So so God's at work, man.
Oh, yeah.
It took time.
So how much time exactly did you serve?
24 and a half years.
Wow.
Yeah. So a lot of things have changed.
Yeah, especially when you came back.
How was that actually just coming out and basically, you know, having to adapt to a whole new world, kind of?
Yeah, I mean, and I think everything I did up to being released was preparing myself. Like, my family would always tell me, you know, even though you've been incarcerated these last 10 years, your mind's not even in there.
Yeah.
And it really wasn't. I mean, I was there physically, but my mind, I was always watching news and always reading stuff that was current, so I could be prepared if that day ever did come.
Okay.
You know, so yeah, I mean, when that day did come, it was different, you know, because you don't know what to expect. You think you do, but really you've been gone 2.5 decades.
Yeah.
So, you know, a funny story I'll tell you is that I went into a supermarket my second or third day I was out, and I had to use the restroom. So I went up to the urinal, did my thing, started to leave, went to flush. There's no flusher on there.
Oh, it was the sensor.
It's a sensor. I had no idea. So, you know, there's a guy here and a guy there. I didn't want to look at him and say, hey, what's going on with this thing? I didn't want to think I was doing
You're trying to look down at him.
So I just kind of like gradually snuck out, and then I went to the sink.
And it flushed.
And it flushed, but I was still trying to figure out what was going on. Then I went to the sink, and I'm like, where's the handles that turn the water on?
Everything was sensor.
And then I ended up asking a guy next to me, I said, hey, what's going on with the sink? He goes, oh, you just put your hands in it. And he was looking at me like I was from Mars, you know, like, but I had never seen anything like that. So that was kind of funny.
You say y'all don't wash your hands nowadays?
Yeah, I still remember that, man. You know, so so it's changed a lot.
Yeah, the experience must have been like kind of like, oh wow, like
it was totally like you're embarrassed, but you're also like, well, I have to learn this stuff, you know. But
I mean, they don't know.
They don't know. Yeah. Nobody knows. But you know, another funny thing is that, you know, being incarcerated, I'm around 2,000 guys all the time. We're like you see in the dorms and all that. And then I got out there and was in the supermarket, and I would just be like, everybody's staring at me. I'm different. That's what I was feeling.
Oh, okay.
And I'd like, I got to get out of here.
Was it the paranoia that you still had, or?
Well, it was sort of paranoia, but you just feel like it's different because there's just so many people around, and you just feel like that you're different and that everybody's looking at you, but they're really not. But that's because you've been incarcerated for so long. So it took me a couple visits, and then, you know, after a month I was in there. Hey, what's going on? How you doing, man? And talking to everybody. By names and all that. So I mean, it was a process, you know. But everything's good now.
It leaves you with some kind of effect. Like, I don't know if I want to say PTSD or anything like that. Does it?
Well, that's true. Yeah, because
it leaves you like, you know what I mean, like it puts you in the condition like that you're not used to.
That's totally true. You know, I saw a therapist, you know, for a little while, and that was the first thing she said. She goes, "You got PTSD, and this and that," and I go, "Well, I'm not in the military." She goes, "It doesn't matter." She goes, "You were in a place where
isolated for years,
violence, and so."
Looking over your shoulder 24/7.
All that,
like,
you know.
And just seeing a bunch of, like you said, there was riots, there was fights,
Stabs,
and just
yeah.
a
Every
whole
day.
bunch of stuff.
Fights every day. I mean, that's
Yeah.
just part of the program, you know.
Yeah.
So
Well, I mean, we do have this clip here where we could show a little bit of, you know, for the people watching, you know, of what you were involved in, you know, helping youth out.
To Beyond Scare Straight.
And this is Beyond Scare Straight, Season 1, Episode 3.
Is that you right there?
that's me.
Look at Big Ron right there.
The goatee. Pulled off the goatee.
It's no place to run. You could just run in circles.
That's it, man.
Yeah.
We call that the corral.
Yeah,
The
okay.
corral, man.
I know most of you were anxious to find out what this prison experience is really going to be like, what it's going to feel like, what it's going to
I
look
get,
like.
you know, I get goosebumps even just watching that.
Yeah.
This is it. Hotel 28232, convicted of a second-degree murder, then sentenced to 15 to life. You are now in the belly of the beast. And make no mistake, Dorothy's, y'all's a long ways from Kansas, man. I know these cops probably try to work y'all over, soften y'all up and all that. That's not our job.
And what prison is this?
That's
at?
Corcoran.
Corcoran?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's a dorm living. There's no cells. There are also no restrooms or no bathrooms. There are only toilet and sink areas, man.
Yeah, that's what you're kind of used to, huh?
Yeah.
The
handles.
faucets and all that.
And then
you have the.
and then everybody in the morning is all sitting next to each other, and then it'd be like the farmer's market out here. So you just put a toilet out there and sit on it, and all those people walking by and
Yeah.
stuff.
Wow.
That's how you had to do your thing.
You just kind
But you get so
of used to it. You just start a conversation.
Yeah, you'd be talking to the guy next to you. Yeah.
Shake hands.
Shake hands.
No shake hands.
So yeah, good dump today.
Hey, hold up. Step out, man. Come on. Don't respond, well, holla at him.
You see, I learned how to iron in there.
Step back in line.
All right.
Told him to get back in line.
Yeah.
It's how he puts people on check at the gym, man.
Hey, get off my machine. I'm about to
Hey, my machine. Hey, wipe it.
Hey, let me get that dumbbell, man.
And on that scene, what exactly had happened?
So there was a fight in the chow hall, I believe.
Oh, okay.
So, and you know, we anticipated that they would probably do a mock alarm just so the kids would feel that experience.
But then something had to
It
happen.
actually happened.
Yeah. Like you never know what could happen. So
Every day.
yeah, even if there are cameras around.
Yeah.
Yeah. So how does all come about? Like, you know, getting the crew there, the cameras there. Like how did that?
Like didn't you just explain they did the 200 people and
Yeah,
Oh,
and
okay,
they
you
wrote
showed
down,
up and that
but
was
as far
that.
as the actual filming,
Mhm.
it was the director that came in, and he was the actual director, Arnold Shapiro, great guy, who did the original Scared Straight back in the 70s.
Oh, okay.
He was the one who did that. So that's why it was called Beyond Scared Straight.
Mm.
So and he was up for an award for all that stuff. And
Yeah.
as everybody knows, you see those all the time, the Beyond Scared Straight.
How was that? Like, I'm in jail, but I'm about to be on TV.
At first, you think about it, but once you get into the program, because we've been doing that, you know, we'd have kids twice a month come in, so
okay.
we were all in mode, and we really didn't. It wasn't about trying to scare the kids. It was
Yeah.
about trying to give them some tools.
And teach them.
Yeah, and that's what we didn't want it to be. It's not a Scared Straight. It's changing within. So it starts within.
Yeah.
So
they
that
should get
was-
scared with the environment alone.
Yeah. So I mean, there's an air of that when you're in there, anyways. So when they were walking around, seeing all the guys talking crap to them, and
Yeah.
that's just normal.
Oh, yeah.
You know, so it just was to open their eyes. But you know, you don't see it here. But if you watch all the way to the end, we come together inside the visiting room, and we go one-on-one with the kids, and we're able just to relate with them and talk to them. You know, without all the other prisoners around.
Yeah.
So that was the meat and potatoes of the program. We would normally go into classrooms and go into different groups, and then each one of the facilitators would, you know, have their chance to tell their story and then talk to the kids. So,
Yeah.
But it was a great program, man, and it's still going on.
Yeah.
So-
And these
That's
kids,
cool.
you got them from juvie or?
No, they came from different schools, or what happens is these kids that are starting to show signs of getting into trouble and stuff, they would get them together and then bring them in for this program.
Like court order or
Not court order,
Parents.
parents or counselors at the actual schools.
Okay.
It could just be a kid hella getting in trouble.
Yeah, or a
And
principal for this particular.
They could have done that to you when you were a little Ricky, man.
Yeah, they could have. They could have.
Before the blueberries.
For all that.
No, the reason I asked is because they had like 16-year-old grand theft.
Yeah.
So they didn't commit those crimes. They just.
They some of them did, and some of them,
But they weren't like in juvie or nothing like
No,
that. Oh,
not
okay,
them.
okay. That was my question.
So-
That was just what there was
It's like
on
the
the rap
resume.
sheet.
It's like the
Right,
resume.
the rap
Like this
sheet.
is what I've done.
Okay.
Yeah, and there's, if you continue watching it, you'll see there's a lot of them. And the particular kid I was working with, his mother was killed in a car wreck, so he started.
Wow.
He loved his mom, and so that's why they kind of matched us up together, because we had that similarity. He was just real hard, man. He was just real. You could just tell he was still hurting. He didn't want to talk, and then eventually we had a little breakthrough, and we were able to talk a little bit. It turns out we found out, like, I don't know, it was like a year later that he ended up moving to Texas with his uncle, and was riding a motorcycle and broke his neck and completely paralyzed.
Oh, wow.
So on top of all the other stuff he was going through, that's
Yeah.
what happened, man. So we were all just like bum kicked for, a month. We just kept looking at each other and going, man, So, but
It's crazy.
at least he was able to come in, and we sent a big, nice, beautiful card to him, and and hopefully he received that well, and he's doing good. Yeah.
Damn, dude. If there's anything you could see that this generation is missing, and something you think like, man, I think they need a little touch of this, or maybe if they knew how to do this, what's something you look at that's kind of obvious to you that you're like, man, this is what they need help with?
Disciplines.
Spanking.
To me, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's it. And nowadays, a lot of kids don't have both parents in the home, and if they do, they're trying to be more like friends than parents. Kids need discipline, man. We all have to answer to somebody, even
And
as we get
discipline
older.
doesn't officially mean like beating.
No.
It's teaching.
It's teaching responsibility.
Exactly.
And that's what's going on now is there's no accountability. It's just free for all. Yeah, if you don't come home all night, they don't get in trouble.
Yeah, you don't gotta beat your kid till they're 18.
Yeah.
They get to a certain age that's like, okay, they could officially understand what I want, or what they need to do that's bad, or that's good for them.
Absolutely.
Yeah, my pops always tells me, we're always talking and lecturing and all that.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
That's good stuff.
I was terrified of my mom, man. I was home before the sun went down.
That's good. And look, here you are.
Yeah.
Eating
Even
blueberries.
if I was out being a little goon, man, I knew I had to be home before
Yeah.
sunset, man.
Being a little girl?
A little goon.
Oh, goon. I'm like, what? Well, explain, Ricky.
He's out here punking people. He gets home, gets punked by his mom.
No, mama.
Yeah.
Nah, for real, that was it. It was, I don't know if it was fear. It wasn't so much fear. I think it was respect.
Yeah.
Like she raised
Or was
me
it
and my
mix of
brother by
both?
herself. Could be a mix of both.
Yeah.
But she always just like, you need to be home by this time. I still had straight A's, but I was still trying to be a thug.
You know what it
Oh,
was?
yeah.
You know what it was, Ricky? We respected our parents, but we feared that belt.
Yeah, we heard the bell.
Or chancla,
or the
no?
branch.
Or the chancla, yeah.
That was real, man.
No, my mom hit me with whatever she had in her hand, man.
I bet.
Whatever it was. We were playing video games. We did something wrong. She'll take the console, just rip it out, grab it, boom. Discipline, man.
Oh, yeah.
Discipline.
Yeah.
For real.
I see how she's doing with my little brother. My little brother has no respect for him. Her or his dad, like, for shit. I'm the disciplinary. I'm the one that he listens to. I go talk to his teacher. But I tell him they promise him stuff, and they never give it to him. I'm the one that tells him, okay, if you do this, then I'll take you for ice cream. If you
Right.
do this, I'll buy you this. And I keep my word, So I think that's part of why he listens to me, but I do spank him too, here
Yeah.
and there. But
So you hit kids.
Sometimes they need
I'm
that.
just kidding.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding, bro.
Sometimes they need that. Like,
I think
do.
they do.
They do.
Because,
Yeah.
like, I've seen videos of kids just yelling at their parents. I'd be out.
even
the
just
supermarket.
I'd be knocked out
even
dead.
just going ahead and
If
fighting
I
their
raise my hand,
parents.
yeah.
I've
It's
seen
an
a
old
video
school.
of
It's nuts. It's nuts.
of a kid going ahead and punching his dad out of a bathroom and trying to kick him out of the house, and the dad's just kind of like weak bone taking it.
Yeah.
Yes, No.
That's a shame, you know.
Yeah, like I understand you don't want. Yeah, you don't want to go ahead and punch your kid back, but you can pin him down.
Yeah.
Get him down. Like, hey, you know, you could. I'm not getting out of this house that I'm paying for.
Exactly. I put this roof over the head.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's funny because when my mom used to, I did something wrong. Of course, she didn't hit me for no reason, but I'm calling the cops. I'm calling the cops. I hear, call the cops.
Yeah.
They're like, see where you go, motherfucker. Call the cops.
That's the problem too. Is that they've got so many rules and laws now that these kids, they just feel like they can do whatever they want. I'll sue you, Mom. I'll sue you, Dad.
And it's happening.
And it's happening.
Yeah.
You know, and then if you do spank a kid and they say, hey, you beat me too hard, then you know then the parents are worried about going to jail for assault. You know,
Exactly.
but you can see that's where the shift has changed. You know, where people don't discipline their children anymore, and I mean,
Yeah.
we all need it. You know, and,
Yeah. It's sad to watch too, man.
and it doesn't have to be rough. It's just like you said. It just has to be, you know, hey, there's some guidelines that we have to follow. You know, everybody has to answer to somebody.
Definitely.
You know, and then it starts in the home, and some of the, like I said, some of these kids are, you know, are single family homes, and that's where people need to step up. You know, and you don't even need to be a part of the family. Like teachers are awesome. A lot of them, you know, they take their own personal time to reach out to these kids that are in their classrooms and figure out what's going on with them and actually care about
they're still
what's
getting
going on after
paid
school.
way less.
Way less. So, and that's the problem is that, you know, it takes people to come out and say, hey, I care. What can I do? You know, and it doesn't have it can be your neighbor's kid across the street that you see every day that knows you and says hi to you, you know, and you can see him going down a wrong path or, you know, or not always just the wrong path, but reach out to be friendly to him and maybe, hey, you know what? I got some work I'm doing here. You know, I'm doing some bender board and I'm putting some mulch in my front yard. Here, I'll pay you $50 to help me out. And then he doesn't know it, but you know it. You're teaching him a skill for later, you know, that he can do his own stuff. So it takes that kind, you know, like Hillary. It takes a village, man.
Yeah.
It really does. It takes everybody, you know, who has a conscience that really cares about what's going on in the world today to step forward, man. And it doesn't take a lot. It just takes a little bit. Just sometimes just saying hi, man. How you doing today? You know, opens up that door for change.
Yeah. And what helped you exactly get out of your sentence? Because you said you had 25 to life.
I did. Well, again, you know, you go in front of the parole board. You know, depends. You know, they can give you. It was before between 1 and 5 year denial. They could just say, hey, we don't feel you're ready for 5 years, and then you wouldn't come back for 5 years. But first you have to do your base. So like mine was like 16 years, and then that's when you start going to board.
Oh, wow.
So I went like 5 times, and then like the second to last, I went to the board, and they granted me. My lawyer's jaw dropped because nobody had been getting out, you know, and it was just really kind of just like a formality, just because they have to. You got to go. They have to by law. You have to see them. So when they did find me suitable, man, it was, you know, my jaw even dropped, and I was just, you could hear me in the mic, and I was just like, thank you, Jesus, you know. But unfortunately, at that time, Governor Arnold Schwarzenegger was the governor at that time. And, you know, you go after you're found suitable, it goes to a decision review board, and then it goes to his desk. And he has 30 days to decide if he's going to let it stand or not. And he took it. So, you know, they called me to the office and go, we're so sorry, man, but the governor just used his power to take away the date. So when that happens, they have to take you back within 6 months of the board. So the commissioners that are on the board are the people that he hired. So they're really his people. So the chances of going back after being reversed by the governor and getting your date back is like less than 1%.
Wow.
So I had already decided I'm going to make my own packets, and for 6 months I sat there and typed, and I made my own board packets. I made 3 of them. I made 2 for the commissioners, actually made 4, and 1 for my attorney, and he comes before you go, like a month before you go, and when he came to me, I just dropped my packet on his lap. I told him, look, you don't need to say anything. I got this. And he's like, well, I go, they don't want to hear from you, man.
Yeah.
They want to hear from me. So I made these packets, man. I put a lot of effort into them, gave them to the commissioners, and then I had one, and we went through the whole hearing again, and it's really intense. You know, you got the DA from the counties there, and then you got the commissioner, and then you got the police in there, and then you have your attorney.
I think the only one left is Arnold Schwarzenegger being there.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, and then
Too busy filming.
Exactly, and then they can elect. You know, the victims' families and all that can come to all these hearings, and they never did. But anyway, so I was in there, and you know, like I said, it's less than 1% that you get found suitable after the governor taking your date, and they just said we disagree with his decision and we're going to reinstate it.
Wow.
So that was like.
Wait, so his team disagreed with him,
which is like I said,
Wow.
super rare.
Yeah.
Wow.
And so, you know, my fingers were crossed because he could still do it again.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
so I had filed an appeal on that decision anyways, but it turns out that they, you know, after 90 days, they upheld it and said, all right, you're out of here, man.
Wow.
They just called me and they go, hey,
Roll
here's
it
your-
up.
Here's your paper, man. And I was like, really? And they go, yeah. And I go, when do I go? And they go, well, it's probably going to be, it was like Thursday. It's probably going to be Monday. And I'm like, ah.
What kind of emotions
4 more
ran
days,
up?
right?
Yeah.
And then, but one of the ladies from our facilitator for that program, she worked up there in the records department. She goes, I'm going to push this, man, and get you out of here tomorrow. And she did, man. So I was able to leave the next day.
It's cool.
Wow.
Man.
Yeah.
That's
So-
what's up, man.
Congratulations on that achievement.
Oh,
man.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, but
They noticed all because you said you did 3 years first until you got into this path that, okay, I want to make this change.
Absolutely.
So they probably saw these 13 years of all this progressive, all this good positivities and everything you want to do and are trying to do.
Exactly.
And programs and all that you said that you're a part of.
Exactly.
That's a big help. A lot of the dudes in there, they don't want to do that, or some, like you said, they have to sometimes, but they don't know that, hey, this could help in the long run.
Absolutely. And it
'Cause-
starts off, you do it because you feel like you have to,
Mm.
but then, you can see that change and you can start feeling that change where you're taking in that knowledge and you're learning from it.
Yeah.
And you're applying it to your life every day and then sharing it with others. So, exactly. So,
And that's crazy how you said that you kind of told your lawyer, like, I got this.
yeah.
Because
Yeah.
I was also, looking up and reading up about Freeway Rick Ross. I don't know if you know about him. He was selling drugs for CIA or something like that back in LA, 80s. And he did the same thing to his lawyer. He told him, hey, I did a whole bunch of research. I read all this. I gave you this. Here's this. So what you could say and what I'm going to say. And he got out. And
Yeah.
he's out now writing books and
Love it.
doing kind of what you're doing.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
a great thing.
Yeah. So I think you're the second one behind Freeway to get out of a life sentence.
There's a
That's
few
history.
guys
Legends,
out.
man.
There's a few guys out, man, and I'm happy to say, the ones that I know that are out, man, they're doing.
Your buddies are probably didn't believe you at all in there.
They didn't,
Yeah.
man. But the guys that are out now, they're doing a great job, man. A lot of them are going in to prisons and talking to the prisoners, man. They're getting clearance to go back in. So, I mean, some of the guys that are getting out, they're really trying to give back. So
Yeah.
it's awesome, man.
Man, that's cool. That's dope.
Good, man.
Oh yeah.
And I feel like this show is a good show. Like it teaches that as well. And but some
It
people
does.
they'll watch it, they'll just think these kids are rude. But do you think like some of these kids really didn't have a choice, or you like,
I
or you
think
feel like every kid has a choice?
we all have choices,
Yeah.
man. But if you don't have the tools in the toolbox,
Yeah.
and like we talked about, and not having any discipline in the house and just free will, when you're 13, 14, 15,
Yeah, you're not
and you don't have
thinking,
any
yeah.
rules,
Yeah.
and you don't
You're
have
just
a skill,
drinking and smoking.
and you don't have a skill set. I mean, naturally you're going to gravitate
Yeah.
towards, a negative country of people, man. It's
it
inevitable.
just is, yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah,
It just is
and
what
you
it
can
is.
see it on the news every day, man.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
So
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
That's heavy though.
But
But at
good to
least
have you free, man.
Yeah.
Yeah,
For real,
real.
man.
it's a-
Shit. I mean, I see you at the gym whenever you're working out there, and I would never thought. It would
Same
never
here,
cross
same
my
here.
mind, you know.
DJ.
I
He
just
was
see
like,
you in there
"Ah."
with a smile, you know, just getting your workout in and stuff like that, man. But yeah, congratulations, man.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it, but I don't want to be lost in this, man. That there was this be lost on the fact that Tim he lost his life, man, for $20, man.
Yeah, man.
And I think about that every day. It's beautiful to be out here, man, but I still think about whatever my part was, my role was. I'm still just as guilty, and it's great to be out here, but a lot of times my head goes back to he's not here and he lost his life for $20, man. So
And
that's a lot of my motivation too.
I've
It's just
become at peace with it.
I don't know if I've come to peace with it. I've come to grips with it because I can't change it, but I talk to him a lot. I feel like like doing this. I feel anything that I do is not for me, it's for him, and sharing my experiences with the kids or grown-ups or whatever is honoring him. So I think that's how I come to grips, with our resolve with his death. I think it's the only thing I can do that's going to really pay homage to him. So that's a lot of my driving force.
Yeah, man.
That's great.
Yeah. R.I.P. Tim.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Should we get into
Cool,
the
man. Well,
topics?
here, man, we get into little
One last
discussions,
question,
little
one last
talks.
question.
Oh, yeah.
What was your first meal when you I mean, you said 24 and a half years. Like,
Oh,
I
yeah.
couldn't picture myself just not even, having a good cooked burger that I for 20. Oh my God.
I went, it's funny too because I just wanted to eat something, when we got out, anything that wasn't prison food. So
Yeah.
my sister picked me up with my little niece, and we pulled out of there, and there was a McDonald's right there, man.
And I was like,
And I was just like, go there, man. And,
it was like Red Lobster.
You saw that light at the end of the
Yeah.
tunnel, huh?
Yeah.
That McDonald's light.
Yeah. And I don't think I've ever been back since, but I mean, it was just like, let me have something that's free, that's out here. So I actually, when I was there, I didn't want to go in. I was still kind of nervous.
Yeah,
So my
of course.
sister brought it out, and then I was pulling off, my clothes. And I just had sweats on and a T-shirt because I
Yeah.
gave all my stuff to somebody that was staying behind. And so I was changing and eating at the same time. And I was like, yeah. But later, then I was like, whoa.
Yeah, your body's not used to it now.
not used to it.
Yo, this is poison right here.
Yeah.
Like,
But after that, man, it was steak, bro.
A steak.
It's
Yeah,
steak, man.
nice.
Yeah. So, yeah.
Yeah. Hell yeah. Man, it's a blessing, man, every day.
Every day, man,
Yeah.
breathing fresh air, and it's 8 years went fast,
Yeah.
Did
it take you a while to get out of that prison routine?
The mentality.
Or like...
Yeah, I really didn't have,
or you said your mind wasn't in there, so you
wasn't
never,
in there. So,
yeah.
but I mean, there were still certain triggers, like you hear an alarm, like on a car.
Yeah, gotta get
I
up.
was thinking about getting down,
Yeah.
because that's what you have to do. So you
You're
don't
just
get
kind of
shot.
taught that for 20-something
so
years.
and then you go, okay, and
That's
then
alright.
another thing is, that, every time you shower with your boxers and your socks on, and you clean them when you're in there. That's just what everybody does in there. Because after you come out the yard, you clean while you're in the shower, you clean your boxers and your sock. So it took me a minute not to go in the shower with my.
It just doesn't feel right.
Oh man.
It took me about a week or two, man, to get over that, and I was like, all right.
I have to do it.
Exactly. I was just standing in the shower without chanclas on,
Yeah.
So,
Hey, it's a clean floor.
Yeah, it's a clean floor now. So yeah, there was a few things, man, that it took me a minute to outgrow, and I look back now, even watching this, it's been like a dream. It seems like it wasn't real, but
Kind
it
of
was.
movie type.
Yeah, but it was just. Yeah, when I think back and I look at stuff like that, it's
That
hard to believe that I was
Yeah.
actually there, man.
Kind of is a movie. I mean, you were kind of forced in a way to do something you really do not want to do.
Yeah.
And then you go ahead and do your time, but while you're there, you're doing all this positivity, and you get out, and you're still like, I could see that actually in a movie.
Yeah.
Like,
man.
yeah,
Yeah.
for real.
Do you ever plan to do some camera work like similar to this, like
Um,
not maybe like
where
beyond scared straight, but something else like something.
Whatever presents itself to be positive, I'm totally for, man. That if anything that I can give back, and if it turns out to be something like that, I'm all for it, man.
That's great.
You even have like a YouTube channel.
You'll
probably get more subscribers than we have.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, that's cool. Hell yeah.
Let's get to it then. R.I.P. Don Dodda.
So who's Don Dodda?
Dodda. Since you haven't seen Shot Us.
I don't think so.
Yeah, it's he just plays like the OG. In Shot Us, he was the OG drug pin. In Shot Us, in Belly, what role did he play in Belly? He was an OG as well, right?
He was a drug kingpin too.
Yeah, so he's just a real good actor as a kingpin, but he's dope.
Yeah, he was.
I mean, he was a hell of one hell of a good actor.
Hell yeah.
But even in real life, you'd be like, bro, this is probably you in real life too.
Oh yeah, definitely.
That's the thing about him.
This is one of my favorite parts when he's just like, he's just going ham
You're
with
going
the
against one
hammer.
of the Rascals.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Belly is a
in
must
America.
watch.
I kill for nothing.
I killed, yeah.
Yeah, bro. Belly's
I
one
killed
of those
for fun.
movies.
I was like, oh shit.
What the fuck?
But that's me.
But
This is like a Scarface scene.
Yeah. But I think he went out kind of worse. I mean, a cut to the neck, man, like sliced throat, like. And Scarface was on like a motherfucker.
I got his throat slashed by a bad bitch.
Yup. And Scarface was, I mean, he probably had a whole kilo in his system. So he probably didn't feel all them bullets going up in him.
Yeah, he was drunk as fuck.
He
and-
said,
Yeah,
nigga,
homie
what?
right here, he was drunk watching soccer and shit.
Oh shit.
But he knows his shit. Like, gets up with the AK, boy. Damn, I gotta watch Shot Us again.
Yeah, man. And Billy's one of those
I think
movies,
there's a
So
app
he
called
passed
Fubi.
away?
Yeah. I think there's an app called Fubi, and they have like free movies and shit, and they have like these type of movies.
Yeah.
So he was always an actor, or
Yeah.
was he like a rapper that became an actor?
I believe he was just an actor, right?
It was just,
Just a
from
straight actor?
what I know of, yeah. But a lot of his lifestyle is like kind of in a way similar related to this. When you would hear him talk in his little interviews, he was almost like he was that.
I am the original Jamaican Don Dodda.
Don Dodda.
Yeah, bro.
Road boy. I want to ramp with bomber clap me. Come on.
And that's what a lot of people reference. You know what I mean? The original
Yeah.
Don Dodda. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He really made his mark, and you know what I mean, in the
Oh,
culture. Yeah.
How long is this, June?
Yeah, you gotta play the whole thing, man. We know.
We didn't watch a movie. No.
I know, man. We know what happens.
You can just play it in silence.
But yeah, man.
But rest in peace,
I
man.
repeat to him, man.
Yeah, I think it was
man.
a car crash. No, like
Was it a car crash?
yeah.
It was a car
Oh,
accident.
wow, where? No one knows where?
No,
No, I
I
don't
totally,
know.
No,
I
not
gotta look
totally
that
sure. But rest in peace, Don Dodda, man.
It was a good legend, man.
Good legend. Condolences to his family and the friends. You know, all the people. You know what I mean, who got to work with him and everything. You know what I mean.
He got to work with Damian Marley. Because Damian
A lot of
Marley
stars.
was also like a big role in that movie.
Yeah, he worked with a lot of people. Yeah. So,
Cool.
Rest in peace.
All right, man. So our next topic, man, we are getting into vaping.
Vaping continues.
Vaping again, man.
Vaping.
Do you think
So
it's a
my
lifestyle, or you think it's ending lives?
I think a lot of people think it's cool to do, but it's not cool.
I don't know. I feel like that's a really
Is it wor-
gateway
is it worse
into
to-
smoking, because they have just the regular juice, which is supposed to be just vapor, but then they have the juice that has nicotine in
Nicotine,
it.
yeah. And
You know, so
and
what stops a
you
kid
could
from
also,
doing
like-
that to the next one?
Oh yeah, they it goes up, they go up, and it's crazy because they have some that have a little nicotine, and then they have some that has just a lot,
Yeah.
and it's crazy. I mean, they're basically smoking packs, and they don't even know it. And then, they don't even know they're
That's
basically
packs
smoking
on
a whole.
packs on packs.
Yeah, definitely.
Bambo locally.
California's banned it.
Yeah. Well,
So
New
they
York.
banned the whole thing, like
just
you can't vape no more. So what happened to all the
Yeah.
vape stores?
I think the vape stores are gonna be. I don't know. I really don't know.
Because the one in
Okay.
Marina's still open.
Yeah,
Vape
right.
stores
There's
still
two,
open.
right?
Yes.
Yeah, there's two
No,
Marina.
there's one.
There's a couple.
And what's your input in the whole vaping?
Oh, look, it's prohibited in workplaces in many public areas, but I guess you could still do it at home.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's not completely like.
No, and it's funny too because
it's weird.
Everybody has choices to vape and all that, but I'm amazed by watching TV and the news and all the media coverage that's going on with the vaping, and it's warranted, but 7 individuals that died from it so far. 14 now. Wow. And this is nationwide, right?
Yeah.
So this different states, are rushing in and they're changing these laws overnight, to curb the vaping. It's funny to me that 14 people have died from vaping, and they changed laws overnight. But you have thousands of people dying of overdoses from opioids and meth and heroin on the streets, and the majority of the homeless. And the majority of the homeless, that's their issue. It's definitely drug use, and yet they're not changing laws overnight for that.
Yeah.
So it's kind of it's frustrating to see it on the news and wondering about all these different people that are dying. And I know what it is. It's that people think that drug addicts and the people that are using are just they're less than equal to everybody else, and they'd rather hide it or push it under the rug than to deal with it, even though you still see some coverage about it. But if they can change a law overnight for vaping, why can't do that same theory with the drugs and the opiates and that's going on throughout all our communities. So it's amazing to me that they can just change the law overnight, but they still won't.
Yeah, they're not putting the same effort to
it's
things
the
that's
money
going
issue,
on.
Yeah, to me, I think that falls down into the pharmaceutical pocket. They don't want
big pharma. Yeah, but just like the black market, heroin.
Oh yeah,
meth. All there's stuff I don't even know about.
There's a whole bunch of
stuff and stuff like you heard about in Santa Cruz. At the college there, they were taking some pill that was laced now, and people were getting real sick, So
there was also a student that basically developed an app where the kids could just place an order on it.
Oh, that's right. They caught him.
Yeah, they caught him. Yeah.
That's crazy.
What was it called? Like banana plug or something?
Yeah, banana plug.
Yeah.
But do you think? I don't know if you guys read it. Does it say if it was adults or kids? Maybe it's kids that are dying. That's why they're changing the laws. Or like
I think it was a mix, right?
It's a mix.
It's a mix.
Yeah, it's the same
with everything.
Same with the people with drugs too. You can find young people here.
Oh man!
A couple months ago, I seen a young ass chick holding a sign. Like she couldn't be no older than 25 years old, guaranteed.
No, I know that, but I mean, you could go out. You have to go out your way and meet certain individuals to get drugs.
Yeah.
The vapes, they're at the stores. You can order them from Amazon. Like they're more available.
They're more available. But I mean,
I understand.
People can get what they want. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and it's funny too, because I deal with the homeless almost every day over there, and a couple of the people that I met, one individual, man, he could articulate himself so well. He was college educated, had 2 homes. He was like the top salesman in California. I forget what area he was in. And he was, he came and worked for me for a while, and he was so proud that he had been clean, for almost, I think it was almost a year. And then I ended up seeing him a few times now since then. This was a few years back, and he's living out, out in the wilderness and living in a tent, and his face is just all tore up. And the horrible part about that is his wife is with him, and and they're both, you can just see they just pick their faces so bad. And I just told him, I go, hey man, what happened? You're better than that, but when you're in that grip,
you caught up in the grip.
This is a guy who had 2 homes, top salesman in California in the area he was in. Now he's out with his wife, homeless, man, and just they look so bad. I mean, so bad. It's a shame. There's someone that has that edge, but the point I'm making is it can affect anybody.
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. But and then it also comes down to choices too.
Yeah.
You made that choice, man. But it's sad to see him from one end of the spectrum, and then to see him now again back in that vicious cycle, man.
Yeah.
So. Yeah, it's
man,
crazy.
It's hard.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I've never experienced like a done drug like that. I mean, I'll smoke weed. I've done
Right.
little stuff here and there back in the days.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Just to a lot of weed. But just I don't know. Just to see like someone kind of in a grip of something that they could control. Honestly.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's some of the interviews they were talking to these guys that were sick and girls with the vaping said the same thing. They just they couldn't stop it, man. It was too much, and they would do it, and then, you know, they would Jones for it when they wouldn't have it, you know. And then, you know, I didn't even know they had this different stuff they have stuff that looks like, you know, whiteout.
Wow.
Like little whiteouts that are actually vape pens and stuff. So
Oh,
I can see, you know, the change from the tobacco companies before, when they were, you know, promoting cigarettes with the Marlboro Man, and they showed everybody out partying and smoking. You know, it was
Yeah.
cool, and then all your stars would be, you know, Sinatra, all of them would be singing and smoking on stage. So I could see, you know, how
Now it transformed.
yeah,
to
transfer
like a newer.
after they, you know, kind of eradicated tobacco to a certain extent. You know,
Yeah.
it's not vogue anymore. They came up with another avenue.
Yeah, and the funniest thing is like,
Yeah.
oh, this is healthier than tobacco. This
Exactly.
could help you actually get off tobacco.
That's what they were
This and
saying.
that. Yeah, when I remember
there's a
when
lot
they
of
first came
signs when
out.
they're like, I have quitted smoking cigarettes due to vaping, so it makes
But
it sound like
they're
it's
just
better.
vaping.
Yeah.
I mean,
but
what's
it's still nicotine.
yeah, what's
Yeah.
the difference?
It's
really?
like a patch.
Exactly.
If you if you're addicted to nicotine and you're putting a patch that has nicotine in
Mhm.
it, then you're still getting that in
You're
your
still getting
bloodstream.
nicotine.
So you're still having that craving. It's like doing heroin, saying,
Or
I'm
nicotine
I'm
gum.
just going to do a little heroin, not a lot like I used to, and I'm going to wean myself off. It doesn't work
Yeah,
like that,
yeah.
because once you still have that taste or that craving, you're going to always have it. So the only way to do it is not to do it.
Yeah.
They're saying like it's safer, but then there's those commercials like safer doesn't mean safe.
Exactly.
Like,
Yeah.
so yeah, it's still
Wow.
still that. Yeah.
Yeah. And was it the black market cartridges that kind of got the whole like alert of it? Like, okay, this became a problem because what was it that some kids like went to the hospital because of some black market, not real cartridges that they got from who knows who.
Yeah, I mean, it's just watching the news and seeing that, because they're packaged so perfect, like it is something you would
Yeah.
buy from a store. And
Yeah.
I don't know how you would even get that unless it's somebody selling it out of their trunk.
You
but
could legit order them
Yeah.
online. You could order a box that with some designs on it or whatever that fits that, and a bunch of them for, I don't know, $20.
yeah, it's crazy.
And just put a fake little thing in there, and no, here it's what it says on the box, but it's not.
It's not, because they did the analysis and the
Mhm.
breakdown of those. I was watching it the other night. They broke it down, all the black market, and it has some cream. It's a face cream that they put in as a filler that's equivalent to low doses of cyanide.
Oh wow.
So that's what they were smoking. You know, when it gets heated, that it's an E cream or something. But it was interesting. Then they did the legit ones, and they didn't find any toxicity in them.
Yeah.
So all the black market stuff had these crazy fillers
Yeah.
and different stuff in them, and tons of pesticides. So
Fuck.
And it's crazy. They did a crackdown on some dude. I forgot where, but they found, I think they said like 15,000 cartridges that are gonna get ready to fill up with all this
Exactly.
fake stuff.
yeah, that was the THC ones, exactly right.
Yeah, they were the fake
Yeah.
ones, the black market
Yeah.
ones. That's insane.
It's insane, man.
Yeah. Even the dispensaries could get confused with it. Just, oh yeah, let me try these out,
That's
And
the power of online shopping.
Yeah.
Man. Is that you can almost put anything
Anything.
out there, and
Mhm.
so you got to be super careful. Yeah, I even tell my wife, man, when she orders stuff, make sure you research it. Don't buy some off the wall
Yeah.
stuff that you're putting, because if you buy a special cream or face cream or whatever, it goes into your system.
yeah,
So you got to be super careful what you buy out there, man.
Yeah.
Online.
Yeah, definitely, most definitely.
Mm-hmm.
Rolling Loud. The event Rolling Loud. They just happened in
what
the
was
Bay
it?
Area.
Oakland, right? Yeah.
Yeah, I think.
Now it's
yeah.
gonna be in Miami.
I thought they were bringing it to LA. No.
No, NYC.
Oh yeah, they're doing an NYC thing.
Yeah, because Conway and Benny are gonna be there.
Yeah.
Explain what Rolling Loud is.
It's an event.
Music
It's like a
festival.
Yeah, music festival.
It's a whole big music festival where a bunch of artists, like numerous of artists go and just perform, and it's a whole lineup, and it's what, a whole weekend.
Yeah, it's like a whole weekend trip.
So the only way to go, you have to buy the whole weekend pass, and you go for Friday through Sunday, and it's just nonstop partying and music and
people from all over the places go.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah, look, they did bring it to LA.
And they brought it to Hong Kong too. Look at that. That's crazy.
You going to Hong Kong?
It got big.
Yeah, definitely got big. I don't know if you ever heard of EDC or anything like that. You ever heard of EDC? Well, it's kind of like in a similar way, just different music. It's basically just all young people, you know what I mean, on kinds of stuff, and you know, yeah, and they're just jamming.
So many artists,
and they're just jamming
to
loud music. Yeah,
that was a jab.
Has anybody gone?
Young people.
Have you guys gone?
I've never gone.
There's actually There's actually what's his name? OG something. He's how old is he? I think he's like in his late 60s, and he's going to these in Oakland. And he recently, I guess he fell. I don't know if he was drunk or I don't know, but he fell and hit the side of the curb with like his eye.
Oh no!
And he had glasses on, so the glasses kind of broke and went in. And you see him at the festival with a big old black eye and his face just kind of swollen. He's like, I'm still here.
No more for him.
Oh, man. That was insane, man.
But yeah, I mean, these events, you know, I mean, it looks popping, it looks cracking, but I don't know if it's any for us. I bet we would.
Definitely a lot
to
of
go.
standing, especially with all the amount of people that are going on stage.
Yeah.
Oakland, man.
Yeah, I was watching some videos. People were wilding out, man. Like people that aren't even paying attention to what's going on. They're just doing their own thing, like within the crowds. You had females passing out, a lot of booty shaking.
Yeah.
A lot of fights.
Yeah, fights,
a lot of
titties. There's a lot of stuff, man. Cause I follow a couple people that ended up going, man. They were posting some stuff. I'm like, oh fuck, hell no, that's not me.
That's not me, not my scene.
I'd be down to check it out, but I'm not a big fan of like concerts.
They're gonna have it in Hong Kong. Isn't there like a huge like, I don't know, war going on? Basically, civilians against the government.
Is it Hong Kong? Or
It's Hong Kong.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, like there's a recent video of like police just beating up a whole bunch of protesters and doing all this stuff. Hey, bro, protesters in like out in Hong Kong, Japan, and all that.
They're on a different level.
Yeah, they're on a whole different level.
They're going ham and
cheese.
They're
using lasers. They're using umbrellas. They're cutting down cameras from the poles. Like they're doing some crazy shit.
I seen it. The craziest thing I saw when they're stopping the smoke bombs with the cones and they're just dropping water.
And they're just pouring water. Like
I would never thought of that.
Exactly.
I would have grabbed it and thrown it back.
They're straight running to it, covering it water. Like what the hell?
Like they're on some it's crazy.
And
they're prepared.
They're using the lasers to mess up their like facial discretion cameras, recognition cameras. Like they're on it. That shit's crazy.
Damn, Ricky sounds excited. Like you want to start one of these out here at Farmers Market.
I'm going to Hong Kong.
I'm going to Hong Kong.
Don't inspire him the wrong way, Eric.
It's just for the experience, man. I've never been in a riot. I want to be in a riot.
I don't know. Is that a riot or a war?
They call it riot
or civil war.
It's called civil war.
I mean, it's the civilians.
Protest.
I mean, no one's shooting each other yet. You know.
They're shooting the protesters with paintball guns.
I seen that.
Ricky was like, bro.
No, I still got a bruise from like 3 weeks ago right here from paintballing. That hurts.
Ay.
Yeah. Will you ever see yourself going to a Rolling Loud event?
He's still like, what the fuck?
Trying to talk to people.
I go to the Raider games, baby.
You got a Raider fan?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, man. Your best friend's right there.
Yeah, I like the Coliseum.
We got Cowboys. We got
Giants.
Niners.
Yeah.
That's funny, too, because all my family's diehard Niner fans. My dad, everybody, my sons are all Niner fans. And I actually did some work at Dwight Clark's house, man, before he passed away.
Oh, wow.
In Capitola, yeah.
Really?
Really super nice guy, man. Sad that he passed away, but he was a super nice guy, man.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
Damn. What kind of work?
Did some landscaping over there. Put some artificial grass in and did a barbecue pit for him and stuff like that.
Nice.
Very very humble, man.
You're just a full-on handsy man, huh? Hands on. Yeah.
I do a lot of stuff, man.
Nice. Hell yeah.
Gotta stay busy.
Hey, you gotta stay busy. Hell yeah.
My
Someone
grandma-
gotta do it.
No, my grandma said that every man should know at least 10 traits.
Oh yeah.
That's what she told me.
That's true, man. I mean, again, nowadays, some
gotta know
guys can't
everything,
even
man.
change the light bulb, man. They
That's
want to
real.
pay somebody $30 to come out and change the light bulb
Like
for 'em.
$60,
yeah.
man.
I hate it. Anything I'm like, my wife will be like, just get somebody. I'm like, I can do it.
I got it.
I got it.
Fix
Yeah,
the
but
fridge.
it takes 3 months.
I'm gonna mess it up a couple times, but I got it.
Yeah.
That's real though.
Yeah.
I'm the same way. I try to do as much as I can myself, man.
Yeah.
If I really can't figure it out, or I can't find a video on YouTube on how to do it, then I'll
give
I'll
up.
call it quits. I tap out.
That's
I'll
true.
get someone to do it.
That's true.
Yeah.
I get impatient. I'm like, wait, what? We're in step 6 already? Like, where the fuck was 2 and 3? Like, fuck.
Yeah, I noticed when we were doing
Let me just hit up the homie. I'm like, I got you $50 right quick, bro.
We're doing the thing. You're just like, bro, let's just forget about it. Let's go eat. I'm
Oh,
like, nah,
yeah, that's
bro,
a perfect
we gotta
example.
fix this.
That's a perfect example. This is just
What
on the
you guys trying
weekend.
to do?
I ordered this new little clothing rack, and we're in the, what's it called? Like the little instruction thing. You know how usually when like dude, it came with so many pieces. You know how usually it'd be like, oh, connect, E6 to E4, all that type of stuff. It just legit had pictures of how it was supposed to look.
I just look at
And so we're like, all right. So at first it was easy, and then after that we're like, wait, how did this go to this fucking picture? And then we're like, and it's only one little small little fucking piece of shit little paper like this. Not even kidding. And so me and him were like, bruh. And it just got to the point where like, man, like fuck, like I don't know. Eventually we figured it out. We just kept switching things around, and we finally got it. Eric ended up figuring out. I was like, nah, I think this one has to go here because look, woo, and we eventually got it. But we were feeling hella stupid at
That
first.
shit was
We're like, bruh, we can't even connect.
At first, we're like, bro,
Yeah,
this ain't
at
right.
first it was like, nah, hell no, it's not like this, but yeah.
YouTube, man. YouTube. Advice, man. Go on YouTube.
Fuck that.
YouTube has everything.
YouTube was not gonna have that one, man. That one was hella.
But the thing about YouTube, you just get so into the rabbit hole that you forget what you're actually looking for into YouTube. You're into some other shit.
Yeah, for real. I was on YouTube trying to tie a tie. I was struggling. The tie. It was hard. Oh, we got Ronnie in here.
We got
Look at him
Ronnie here.
sneaking
Ronnie
in.
just slid through.
hell
Oh, no wonder
yeah.
you were late. You had to get a fresh cut, huh?
Ooh.
Yesterday.
It was yesterday. Well, you came in time for a perfect question,
How
man.
everybody doing?
We good. We good.
good.
Live and blessed,
How you
man.
doing, man?
All right, bro.
Ronnie, nice to meet you.
Ronnie, this is Ronnie, bro.
Yeah,
Really?
absolutely.
How did you say your name when you
Ron?
first started?
Ron.
No. When you introduce yourself
Ron.
on the show,
Oh, my last name?
Your nickname.
No, that was
That was
Oh,
last
your
name.
What's your last name?
Fucci.
Fucci.
Ron
Yeah.
Fucci.
Ron Fucci.
Good
Ronnie
Italian
Fucci.
name.
Yeah,
Fucci.
you are Italian, right?
Ron stuff.
This is Ron Gucci.
Nice.
I'm Ron Gucci.
Nah, man,
What's
but
going on, man?
All right.
nothing,
Is
man.
there
We
Jack
just,
Daniels in that?
no, he already knows. He already knows about you,
He
bro.
already
Going for a hike?
badmouthed you,
I mean, where it at? I didn't bring it with me today, but shit.
bro. Yeah, I want to go hiking with you, bro.
Why?
Cause
Why you guys?
Daniel.
What you guys?
what you
Bruh.
guys say?
You
What you gonna say about me?
Because you bring hella power bars.
Oh. See,
You stay hydrated.
I keep you guys hydrated. Exactly.
Keeps us hydrated, man.
Ronnie, if there's one thing you could change about our area, what would it be?
And we're talking about our area specifically, like this little peninsula area. You could.
But what was the
you could
context?
Speak
Like,
about.
what led into this?
This is just a question someone wanted to ask, so we threw it on here from a fan. Pretty much, you could say.
Everybody answered already.
We have not. You had literally
First
came in
one.
here right when we were gonna get into that
Yeah,
question.
man.
So,
Okay. Fuck.
do you need to take a few sips
Yeah.
before? Or?
I didn't bring anything. You know what I mean? But yeah. I'll give it to you and then come back to me.
I'll give it to Mickey and come back to me. Let me see. Change one thing in the area. It's gonna be kind of dumb, but maybe like a third way out of that Monterey area, cause traffic be dumb. Like,
Oh, you mean like New Monterey? The new
yeah, the new Monterey,
Like,
like,
come-
another road to come out of there. Cause other than that, this area is perfect, man. The nightlife sucks, but I would take nature over nightlife all day.
Absolutely.
Oh, I know
So-
my answer. If we want to direct it back this way and have it go back that way.
We're gonna switch it to the right. Go ahead.
I heard that back in the days they had a train system or a whole train station here that would either lead you down to, I don't remember where, but
I think it was to Frisco, no?
Frisco or either
San Jose
or somewhere over there. But I just hope they can maybe put a train station or some type of train
They are.
system. You know what I mean?
They're gonna do a new one that's gonna get all the way to Vegas. I heard.
From here,
From
or
out here.
just is gonna pass by here.
It's gonna pass by here.
They're most likely gonna put a station stop here, and you could purchase tickets to go.
Imagine.
Remember all those fires that just happened to burn? Where the train tracks is supposed to go? It just
Makes sense,
happened.
right?
It just happened to
Makes
burn.
sense.
A train,
sense.
a train
Okay.
to Vegas though. Imagine everybody in there all dressed up.
Everybody there.
By the time they get there, they're already drunk.
So many ratchets. Hey. Fuck no, hell no.
Twerking in the train.
I think. Would you guys pick the train or a plane?
Huh?
Train or a plane?
Well, I
It's the
mean,
same
depends on how
thing.
long
I'm
it would
taking a
take.
plane. Fuck,
If-
I cannot do the train.
I mean, how long would it take a train to get to LA? Maybe like what, 4 hours?
Like it sounds like a
Probably
fun
less. If it's
experience.
a
but-
bullet train,
Yeah,
like
they're talking
30
about bringing a
minutes.
bullet train.
And it's full speed.
Yeah, something like 200
30
something miles
minutes.
per
We got
hour.
some restrooms in there.
You see, yo, I'll take the train all day.
What was
That's all
that
day.
train that we went on? What was it?
Sacramento.
Yeah.
I don't know what it was called. I know we were on
No,
there.
we took a train to Sacramento, right?
I think it was from Frisco to Sacramento.
Amtrak?
Mm.
Maybe it was Amtrak.
Maybe.
I don't know.
The BART?
Sure.
That was
BART?
dope though. We
The BART?
were.
The bar goes to Sac too?
I don't know.
The
Just-
MST?
No, I think the bar
maybe
just
it was the bar.
That's only local, bro. MSC
I'm
Monterey.
fucking with you,
Oh,
bro.
I thought you didn't know what it stood for.
I was like, MSC?
But yeah, so a train. I would
Yeah.
ride a train to Vegas. I think it'd be fun.
For a fact,
That'd
yeah.
be fun.
Okay.
It'd be funner than the plane.
So your answer is we need a train.
No, mine
All right,
is
cool.
we need a
Mickey.
new road.
Oh, okay, my bad.
Me, just like maybe some tunnels. Get some tunnels in there.
More tunnels for what?
Some
random
underground tunnels.
For the trains?
Not kind of like what's his name?
Chapa?
The guy who invented Tesla.
What do you
Remember
want to do for LA?
he wanted to dig underground tunnels for LA. Maybe dig some underground tunnels over here as well.
Yeah.
Okay.
What, though?
But that's because
the
LA
traffic.
gets some massive
That's right.
traffic, yeah.
You
We're on the same page, bro.
Hey, that'd be tight though. Yeah.
Yeah, man, it's just like more
You taking
more
the tunnel today?
alternatives.
No, I'm taking the highway.
Traffic's
Yeah,
not too
Highway.
bad.
Taking the highway.
It's,
You get it?
but we're talking about like city, just like the structure of it, or we're talking about like people wise, or like
Whatever
just
you wanna
whatever
do.
it
Whatever
is.
your agenda. They didn't go
That's
too
it. Well,
deep into the question, so that's.
And
what
then
it
and then
is.
also just people just be more supportive of each other, probably. But I don't know if you could change that. I don't know if you could change how people
You
are.
can change how people are. No, you can't change people. You need to change themselves.
And put a
Yeah.
Popeyes and a Chick-fil-A here, you know what I mean? Then we good, you know what I
we
mean?
good.
just move it. Make it look like San Francisco.
Chick-fil-A?
Yep.
It ain't built yet, though.
And they're building more
Yeah.
Starbuckses, man.
They already did that one
I know.
Starbucks.
Yeah.
They're doing
I can't
another-
believe they
everywhere.
took out the skating rink for
for
Starbucks,
Starbucks,
man.
bro.
But they
That's
took out the
dumb.
skating rink hella years ago anyways, bro.
Still.
You weren't going there. You weren't supporting.
I know, right?
I was there faithfully.
Imagine
Little
Chick-fil-A or a Popeyes there. That would have been perfect.
Imagine little Ricky
It's
Yeah.
like that area, like that right there.
I feel like they put it there for the postgraduate school that's there.
They're pretty sure they got Starbucks in that damn school.
Inside?
Yeah.
Even if they
June?
don't have
They
Starbucks,
do
they
that?
do have coffee shops.
June?
June, you went
Do
there?
they? You worked there. You were Naval Postgraduate School. Do they have like any coffee shops or something in there?
I'm
Like
pretty sure they got their own
Starbucks in there.
cafeteria, right?
They have their own Starbucks, right?
Yeah, they have Starbucks.
So then what the hell?
And they have a cafeteria.
I don't
See?
know them.
Just
You know
for
what
the traffic,
it is? You know what it
traffic
could be?
flow.
I think.
Je ne sais pas.
Look, that Starbucks next to that old McDonald's that before it blew up or whatever, that one is so small that it causes so much traffic for people to go to that one. I thought they were gonna close that bitch down and then do that Starbucks, but it looks like they're still keeping that one there,
They're
right?
remodeled
They were-
it.
yeah.
So they're just. I think they just want to keep it more of a low key Starbucks and then have.
I feel like it's
the
gonna
majority
cause
of
more traffic because it's on that one of the main roads to hit the freeway.
yes, true.
So it's
Oh yeah,
like-
and there's a bunch of people just waiting to get in there.
remember when they opened In and Out?
Mm-hmm.
How it sucked. The police had to be there to control
Oh, my
traffic
God.
and shit.
This one?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, when it
it
first opened, everyone went bananas. You know what I mean? Everyone was just like, and they already knew, so they're already prepared for it, and they're just directing traffic.
Yeah, line was pretty much starting from the exit of the freeway. Pretty much,
Yeah,
it was pretty bad.
It's a bad setup over
Yeah,
there anyway. It's
yeah.
still like that.
They're just
Yeah.
packing more stuff on that road. Man.
Yeah.
But I mean, after
Right.
after 2 weeks, it died down. But I mean, that's kind of the hype, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yes.
True,
So how packed is Chick-fil-A gonna be when it opens? Months, probably, or forever. Is that how they
time.
always are?
June's there all the time.
I'll be there all the time.
All right, Eric.
I don't know.
He's like more
They gotta
weed.
cut.
More
They gotta cut
dispensaries?
down on the car laws. They gotta let us do what the hell we want to our cars.
Car lots?
I mean, that's
Car
California.
laws. That's why.
Oh, laws.
I'm from California.
Talk
It's my
about
area.
his local area.
It's in California.
Original Don Dodda.
Original Don Dodda, man.
Yeah, man.
Okay, so car laws.
They should let us do what the hell we want. I want to lower my car, slam it to the ground, make it scrape the ground. Let me do that.
They put a log inside too now?
Yeah,
or-
a cop could pull you over and measure your car. You never seen a cop do that?
No.
Well, they
They
always
Not in
Really?
person.
were allowed to
It's in
do
videos.
it, but they're enforcing it now.
Yeah. and
Really?
Damn.
then let me put a muffler in my car. Let me.
A muffler, you can't do it. That shit, man.
Huh?
Fuck.
You could, but I mean, there's gonna be those certain
Asshole
cops.
cops.
Yeah. I mean, come on. I'm paying for this damn
So
car. Let me
quiet.
do what I want.
Asshole cops, it gets
I'm paying
quiet.
for something, you know.
They're
All right,
listening.
all right. they walk away. All right, man. All right. They're the ones with all the weapons and stuff. All right, all right.
It's just I don't know. It sucks.
Yeah.
It
All right, so
sucks.
car laws.
Yeah.
Car
They gotta-
laws. There we go.
Yeah, man. I changed the air filter one time on one of my old cars, and they're like, "No, you got to have the original one." I was like, "Damn, fam! I just then why are they selling these?"
Yeah. Like,
They're not
I don't know. They're more strict on car laws than the gun laws. They're more strict on a lot of laws than the gun laws, and it should be way reversed.
What's California's gun laws like right now? Like at the moment, does
I don't
does
know.
anybody know? It's kind of
Well, I mean, you can still
Nah.
go ahead
Which
and do a
one?
little background
Like car
check,
laws?
and
Background check,
pay
yeah.
and do that shit. But I'm pretty sure it's not really enforced how it's supposed to be. Yeah,
As far as what, gun laws?
yeah. Here,
I don't think it's too hard to get a handgun. As
It's
far
not
as when it
bad.
comes to anything after that, I mean, who
You go
knows?
pay
Yeah.
$10 to
A
take the
handgun,
test,
anybody
you
can
clear
get
it,
it, yeah.
and then you could go
Yeah.
buy a gun.
I think it's like less than $30. You have to take it.
it's just the matter if you want to wait for this little background check and all this other stuff.
It takes like a week.
Yeah, but if you know you're good though, it's one of those things that you just gotta wait until you're
Yeah,
People can wait.
cool.
Okay.
But
about
you,
you?
Ryan, man, what's one thing?
property taxes.
Big one.
yeah.
And bring them down, man. You know, as everybody here knows, California, man, is some of the highest
Expensive,
taxes.
man.
Yeah, I mean, I found out when we bought our home, man, it's just property taxes are crazy, man. And you gotta think about that ahead of time and start.
What are those
saving
based
that.
on? The property taxes?
Area,
like square,
you know.
square,
That and like
square feet, or what do you call it?
it just depends on the area you're at, you know, and what you have. Like we're in Prunedale and we got a couple acres, so I got to pay for that too, and it's just super expensive in
It's kind of what
California.
I want.
That's
Yeah.
I want
fucked up.
acres. I want
It's
kind
beautiful,
of
man.
land. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we don't really even see people unless we come go to work. You know, we got a private driveway, but you know those taxes, man. The county really wants their money, man. So
Yeah.
Paying for what you owe.
exactly, you know.
That
And then
for
you
what
put-
you own. I mean, for what
Yeah,
you own.
so
Yeah,
you
That's-
technically
that's
never
insane.
own it.
No, because even
Right?
if you
'Cause you're
own a
paying
house, you pay
for
the house
this.
off. You still pay for
you
that
still
property.
gotta pay the
yeah.
taxes, yeah. And it's expensive, man.
Or so you just get rid of like once you pay off your house,
You
shouldn't-
still.
Yeah, but I'm saying they should just
yeah,
this
Yeah.
property's yours now. You paid enough.
Yeah, or reduce it after you own the home.
Mm-hmm.
Say, all right, you know, you paid, you know, while you were in mortgage, paying your mortgage off, and maybe drop it 50%. But I'm wishful thinking now because all the counties want their money for.
Gotta send that letter, man.
For the roads, man, and for, you
the
know,
roads, for the youth,
for measuring the cars.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Man. Man,
Can
it's
you see the peninsula doing a bridge? You see them building a bridge like across like seaside of Monterey?
Nah, there's no need to.
Seaside in Santa Cruz.
There's no need to.
Oh, that'd be a nice one, Seaside of Santa Cruz though.
Like if we had our own bridge.
But if they spend the money on that, it's like, oh fuck, we
Yeah.
just did it just for the looks, not even.
I mean, yeah, because
because
bridge is usually over like either a big ditch or a land of water. And
But you know
Yeah.
how deep that has to be in order to do it from Santa Cruz? Like we have like a
And then you gotta
canyon
pay a
going
toll.
down
we
there.
do.
Mhm.
They're gonna charge you to go over it every time.
Oh
you
yeah,
set
Oh,
every
yeah.
time.
Mhm.
So
Definitely gonna be like a tourist attraction.
And there's gonna be like fees on your phone the moment you take a picture when you're there. Like they're gonna try to collect as much money as they can from that.
Now I'm good with the Bigsby Bridge and those other bridges out there with that
yeah.
nice view.
Yeah, as long as they don't
Yeah,
collapse
for
again, we all
us,
good.
When did it collapse?
Not the,
No.
Bigsy, the other one.
The
that
other
was
one.
the.
the Big Sur one down below.
The-
Yeah.
Oh, that mud rock or mudslide that happened?
No, the bridge. That
The
actually,
bridge
like,
that
cracked.
literally like
Oh,
Pfeiffer.
yeah.
Pfeiffer, there we
go,
Pfeiffer,
yeah.
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 scary.
Yeah, bro.
Scary.
I mean, it's on a cliff.
How about you, DJ?
So, duh.
DJ.
Mine was like a 50-50. So the first thing that popped to my head was, of course, the whole traffic that goes on here. So I was like, man, we need to find another way to get road, especially through like PG, Monterey, you know, like that area specifically. But another part of me is like a certain type of program where it's easier to give back with like food and like, you know, supplies, like, you know, backpack type of stuff. I feel like out here I don't really hear too many people talking about it, and then you have to really dig into really find the information how you could do it. Like they make it so complicated, like, oh, you have to talk to this person to go to this person, they got to prove you to go through. Like it sounds like a big mission for something that should be stuff? Yeah, just, you know, for something simple that, you know. And I'm not knocking down the Salvation Army, because I know they do a good job with what they're doing, but I just feel like there should be another type where it's a little bit more easier for people, just, you know what I mean, just to do it. Yeah. Especially around like Thanksgiving time too, and just little things like that. So those are probably my main two little things that I think.
How about a carpool lane?
Carpool lane.
The Hove lane.
The Hove lane. So the Hove lane.
Well, I was just in Salinas yesterday doing a bunch of construction in the highways over there. Mm-hmm. So I mean,
and there's only one road.
Shit. So
yeah.
I mean, I was like, it looks like they're adding another lane, but I mean, it could be a carpool lane, it could not be. But
and I know they're still working on Fremont to make it look better. I still be forgetting like where to stop and where to go. The other day I was like, oh, I think I'm in the middle of the street. I was like, fuck it.
Yeah, they're building those like sidewalk ramps or whatever for bikes.
Yeah, the bike.
Yeah.
I think that's cool that they're
that's
doing
cool
that,
because a lot of paisas out here, bro, they're always on their bikes. So it's like.
But I was just driving through there. The sign said only bikes. No people.
No paisas.
Yeah, so it's
no paisas.
No, not paisas, bro. But only people on bikes. I guess it's only for people on bikes.
I'd still be worried, man. I mean,
yeah.
Do you really want to ride your bike in between traffic?
Yeah.
They do.
I think that was a pointless waste of money, bro.
They gotta spend the money somewhere, because if not, the county doesn't get the same amount of money next year.
You know how many alleyways I know that need their potholes filled, bro?
Oh my gosh.
Jesus Christ.
Ronnie's like, bro, you know my alley, how fucked up it is?
It's been fucked up.
It smells like
I've been
piss,
there.
shit. Hella needles everywhere.
Relax, bro. You did some alleyway like that, bro.
Yo, fam, yo, chill.
He's like, don't speak about my alley, man.
Ronnie, he's like, watch your mouth.
So watch your mouth, fam. We grew up over there, fam.
You know how many 40s we broke on that street, bro? Alive, right?
Now you see why there's potholes.
Yeah, definitely potholes too.
June, what would you change?
Cheaper houses.
Like
housing.
Yeah, like for somebody to buy a house. It's cheaper. It's too expensive
Cheaper
over
houses,
here, man.
yeah.
Expensive, man.
Yeah,
expensive.
A homie of mine just bought a house, worked his ass off for it, and he's just like, and I was like, do you feel happy? He was like, I mean, I don't know, man. I bought it. You know what I mean? Like, I should feel happy, but I still feel fucked in a way, you know?
Yeah.
I feel like because he doesn't really own it, you know, it's kind of still belongs to the bank. You got to be paying off that loan.
30
Still gotta be working hard.
Yeah.
It is.
And it's becoming the norm to have 2 jobs, 3 jobs, so many like
jobs and some fraud on the side.
Yeah.
yeah.
It's true.
Yeah, make it out here. You got.
I also want a Coliseum out here, man.
Work for a drug dealer.
A what?
Coliseum for what?
For like a professional sport.
Oh, okay. So like a stadium?
Like a stadium, yeah. They gotta do
but
like
for
big
what?
events.
Or like arena. Yeah.
Yeah,
like
or just
concerts.
For concerts and stuff like that.
Well, yeah,
okay.
sports too. Yeah.
But I mean, there's one in
Isn't
San
the World
Jose, and it's
Cup
not too
coming
far.
out
It's
to
like an hour.
California?
But we need
Yeah, but we need
here.
one out here.
But who would really come out here? You think
Sports wise, I don't know. They'll come out here, but for
Yeah,
concerts,
for
and
concerts?
big events like that, I
Yeah.
could see it happening.
I'm surprised they don't use the Omar Center like that for something. You know what I mean?
Omar Center.
I never see anything.
That's for like
for plays?
that's for like little 15s and like little plays.
But it has a big stage. I mean, they could be using that
stage
stage for
is not
something.
even
Probably
that
expensive
big.
right there
Stage,
too.
man.
Yeah.
Probably.
We
Hell
can make
no.
one in Fort Ord. We have the land for it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Hell
but they
no.
gotta figure out where all those those
Landmines.
bombs, yeah,
Have you
landmines
been in
are.
the
Landmines.
what is it? You know how they opened that road back and they opened all the streets from Caesar to go up into that new road that goes to like
Didn't they
Delray
close it
Oaks?
up again?
No, they're all open,
You
but all
talking
that
about South Boundary?
all that land's already been like filtered. Like they're waiting
Cleared.
for development. They're digging for water, I think. Right
Yeah.
there, I seen the machinery.
And that's above Jim? That's above Jim?
So it's
Moore?
on
It's-
General Jim Moore, between 218 General Jim Moore, and then it's South Boundary that goes from General Jim to Ryan Ranch.
Oh, okay. I know.
Yeah,
It's
the
that long
back
stretch. And it also goes the back way into Laguna Seca. Or
Oh, yeah. They just
Weather
opened
Tech.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah.
From what I heard, like years ago, they were trying to clear some land over there. They had plans on either like making a casino of some type,
I
but
don't
that
think
was
you
years
can.
back.
Not a casino. 'cause
But
it's
then it
not
didn't fall through.
Native land, I guess. I don't know.
Is it?
I don't think so. That's why they can't open a casino. Because California, by law, you can't do it. That's why all the native people own all the casinos. Because they're allowed to do whatever they want in their land.
For real?
Yeah.
Is that the way it
Native
works?
Americans, yeah. That's what they own them all.
So
Or maybe they used to. Maybe they're selling out now. But
No, they still do.
they still do.
They
so.
have to own it. Yeah.
to all only California? Is that
Yeah, that's part of the gambling regulation here. Is it's Indian gambling. That's why it's always Chickasaw and all that is the Indian nations there. So all the proceeds and all the money is paid out to other Native Americans from California. They get a percentage, a check every month. So, and it's supposed to be part of the giving back from what was taken away.
Yeah. Okay?
Oh, yeah.
Obviously, Vegas. don't look kind of that, right?
No, Vegas is different.
Yeah.
That's nuts.
The Italians own that.
Frank
Italians
Sinatra.
own most of Monterey too, man.
The wharf?
The Wharf, Cannery Row, man.
Yeah.
It's nuts.
Shall we talk about the Spence fight? Or you guys want to skip over that?
Yeah, we can skip over that. I
I mean, you
mean,
want to talk about the
Spence
baby?
knocked the old boy out. So I mean,
Boom.
And
Point
he's
blank.
kicking it with what's
let's
his
end it
name?
with this.
OT Genesis
Mm.
after.
After the fight,
Mhm.
celebrating.
all right, you guys, man.
All right,
The
that's it?
legend, the legend got to head out, man.
Alrighty,
The one
man,
and only.
sir. You
Just
want
in time.
to let people know where they could find you at, or or what you got coming up?
Right here.
So
He's
find,
right here.
find, find me an
Right
intro.
here with DJ in
Invite him
in
in
shape, man.
Find you at the
Hey.
gym
So,
for sure.
Yeah,
For sure.
But yeah, anytime you guys want me, man, I'll be glad to come here, especially if we have some good topics, man.
Hell yeah.
Mhm.
yeah.
So,
Hey.
but I appreciate you guys having me on, man. It's always a pleasure. Let's just do some positive stuff,
Hell
man.
yeah.
throughout
Thank you
our
for
communities.
what you're doing and what you're working
Yeah.
for, man.
For
Yeah.
giving
It's
back,
cool,
man.
man.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Thank you, man. Thank you for taking the time to, you know what I mean?
For real.
no
Yeah,
worries,
tell us.
man. God bless you guys, man. I
Hey,
appreciate
thank you. It's always
it.
good
Yeah,
meeting you,
hell
man.
yeah.
Good meeting you, sir.
I'll see you at the gym.
See you at the gym.
All right, Ronnie.
Man, nice meeting you,
See you,
man.
buddy.
bro.
Take care, man.
All right.
Thank you.
All
Thank
right,
you.
thank you guys for listening. Peace.
Yo.
Wait, we done?
Are we done?
No, we're not
Oh,
done.
he's gone. Oh, I thought we're gone.
We're done. We're
Oh,
done. We're done.
all right. Yeah, thank you, man.
Thank you
All right,
guys
man,
for
we-
listening.
All right,
Tune
we
in
done?
next
Yeah.
Tuesday.
Are we done? Oh, down, man.
Hey, man.
Yeah.
Hey, the baby's bodyguard knocked the fuck out of a girl, all right? Go
All
look
right.
that up.
And he just dropped a new album. Be sure to check it out.
All right, so now we gotta talk about the baby.
Where'd you cut it?
No, we done? Did you cut it?